It's getting hot, but I still fight. Hi there, guys. Let me just bring the website up for you guys. It's been a while since we have done a Q&A session on the website about what we've got in development, what is ready for you guys, and hopefully we'll take you through a few things and get some feedback and some ideas about things that we can add to it, things that we can change or we can update before we actually go live. Let's start with the first one. So this is your basic IGame Online website, and you can see it contains all the information that you need for your tabletop systems. Whether you're playing Rolemaster, Middle-earth Roleplay, a couple of our own ones there, some Dragonlance, some Space Master, some D&D, and various other ones as well. We can add other ones to it at a later date, but I wanted to just take this moment to bring you up to date. I'm going to try and do one of these every month from now until launch. Some of you are familiar with our cards and game aids that we've been creating and designing, and we want to show you how we're going to present all that information to you and make it easy for you to be able to run and take part in tabletop role-playing games, irregardless of the system or who you play with or where you are in the world. This is your introduction, so if you've got any questions, please post them in the chat there. My name is Neil, or a lot of people in the group call me Whisper. And we've been developing this for probably 5 or 6 years now, and it's continuously under development and under redesign, and as new game systems are introduced and rules change and things like that, things need to be updated and added to, but it's going to be your complete resource for everything that you need to be able to get into role-playing, whether you're a seasoned player or if you're new to the systems, or something you're thinking of getting into but you're not too sure where to start or where to get all your questions and answers from. This will be your home hub, so to speak. Welcome to the homepage. Apologies there. Bit of a cough this morning. Just to bring you up to date, I live in the UK and it is around about lunchtime at the moment. It's a beautiful hot sunny day outside. We've just had Easter, and those of you who had a wonderful Easter, well done. Got a nice cup of tea here. So this will be the first page that you're presented with when you are when you log into the IGame website when it eventually launches. Very few people have got access to it already. Those people that I've put onto the Rolemaster Face group, I've invited to come and work alongside us to create additional content, to give feedback and to proofread and to go over various things like that. There's various other groups as well, D&D groups, Dragonlance groups, have all been invited to partake in the development and the expansion of the site itself. So let's get into it, shall we? First of all, you'll notice it's broken into various sections. Let me turn on my pointers so you can see where I am. There I am, there, and you can follow me. Let's do a quick navigation. So across the top we have what we call the members zones. These are when you've actually joined the IGame website, the IGame from IGame Studios. You will have access to these panels across the top here. That's our first port of navigation. That is predominantly going to be for members only. This is where you'll be able to post your activities, your videos, your recordings and things like that, and organize your groups and your members, and set things like your bookmarks and upload images and videos and do all that kind of thing. That social media kind of stuff will be across the top. There's also a small shop to get some IGame merchandise and things like that. There's also the podcasts, and there's some publications library where you can actually go ahead and download all of our resources as and when they become available to you. There's thousands already there. Many of you have already seen them. I'm sure you've seen the item cards, and you've seen the herb cards, and you've seen spell cards and things like that, and we'll get to all those kind of things. They're all in our publications library. Then we have our master navigation area, which is across the middle, this is all of our different systems that we're supporting, and this is not limited to just these ones. You'll see some that might drop out, some that new ones that will drop in, but there will be additional new ones being added in the future. I got a lot of people asking for Shadow Worlds, and some other D&D 5e based systems and things like that want to be added, so we're looking into adding some content for them. Then down the side here we've got what we call the players tabs. We can bring out things like dice rollers, we can throw dice directly onto the desktop screen itself. If we do something complicated, like we'll do 3d8, why that, just click on the d8 3 times and just hit roll, and you'll be able to roll 3d8s. Physics and lighting's all built into that same kind of system, and then we have an on-screen calculator as well to give all you guys that have difficulty with math or maths an aid. There we go, and they are present on every page for you to be able to use and integrate into your gaming systems. Then we have our what we call our presentation window, which is where all of our content is posted, including some MMO video game news and some tabletop news and things like that, with various articles and things, keeping you all up to date with what's happening in the world of tabletop roleplay and video games as well. Many TSR, D&D video games coming out, movie news and things like that, keeping you all up to date. And this is probably updated automatically every 15 minutes or so, so you're right up to date with the latest news. Categories window here that will show you the news that we post can be filtered according to its category. You can see them just here highlighted. These are all website associated ones, but there's some that are associated with cosplay or with conventions, or with video games, or with just the individual game systems themselves, or just general tabletop news. New dice is coming out all the time, Kickstarters and other things like that. You have your profile area, which is your membership login area. If you haven't already logged in, you'll see this has been a sign-in area with your username and password. It also gives you access to your profile, where you can update your avatar pictures, backgrounds, banners, and customize your home pages as and how you wish. Add your social links, whether that's YouTube or Facebook or Instagrams and things like that, or your Twitters. I'll take you through the process of how to be able to do that. Notifications, when you log in, you see if there's any notifications, friend requests, or people have posted, invited you to games or to conventions and things like that. Any notifications or any mentions in people's activity posts or any replies will be listed here under the notifications, so they're straight there to see if anybody has given you any feedback, or if anybody has invited you to come join their groups or their sessions, or wants to ask you any particular questions and things like that. Your notification is just there. Users online is just me at the moment, but there is a small group of people who work behind the scenes, who navigate the website and check it for vulnerability flaws and for consistency and for layout and that sort of stuff. My bookmarks down the side here, I have various bookmarks which I'll explain when we come to bookmarking, which means that you can actually bookmark index various pages of resources that you find useful for your particular sessions or for your character development. Quick, easy navigational system, and these are all customizable according to your login as well, so everybody's will be different. Then we have a small little kind of like points system, which is a reflection of how involved you are in the website, whether you create a lot of content or leave a lot of feedback, or make a lot of, you post a lot of articles and things like that. Then you're rewarded with gold coins, and you can spend those gold coins developing your website character. So let's start off with the most important one, which is going to be your profile, because that's the first thing you're going to go for. So let's click on my login. I'll just click on my login there. It'll take you to the profile page. I'm doing this in real time, so you get a feel for how fast the site is, how it presents itself, and how it looks. I'll use the magnifier for anybody who has difficulty being able to actually see or read any articles, and if I enter any data, then I will magnify those areas, of course, and let you see them. But you can see this is my profile page, and if I scroll down, you can see that the main core content banner stays floated at the top. Likewise, so does the dice roller and the calculator. Even if we scroll down through the page, you'll see that those float nicely on the left hand side there. So they're easily accessible. Doesn't matter what system you're in, you always have dice and you have a calculator available for you. So let's check. This is our profile. So we've got a profile banner. You can see there's my nice little profile picture of Whisper there. That's me. And you can see I've got some social links there which people can log into. And if I use the members tab at the top, which you can see is illuminated, you'll be able to actually search for members if they have an account with us, and you can see there's various people have an account with. You can add as a friend, or you can just bring up their profiles and the likes of. So it's easy to be able to navigate. You can search for a friend using the search button, or you can see any new members that come along and join. You might want to invite them to your parties or your games and the likes of. So you can see I've got a home page here, and this home page can be customized. I can just drag these around. Let's move my activity up the top there. There we go. So I can customize this however I want, but I can go into it and I can really go into the profile itself. Here we go. And I can edit it, and I can add my details. I can add my social media links using the edit button under my profile. I can change my profile picture. I can change my background. That's the background to the whole page, just on the home page, of course. And I can change my cover image, which will be my little avatar here. And you can see here I can add my date of birth. I can add a little information about myself here, and I can update my social links as well. So people who can navigate the people who navigate their members area have quick access to people who do a lot of streaming or do a lot of blogging or reporting and things like that. So I can have my Facebook, my Twitter, my Twitch, my Pinterest, LinkedIn, Tumblr, Instagram, Flickr, YouTube, and occasionally well, if it still exists around out there, but we've added right at the bottom there, MySpace. Now I can change who this is visible to. So there's special security built into it, which you can customize, and I can change it, and I can change it, just say I just want everybody to see it, only me to see it, only members to see it, or just all my friends. So anybody who is added onto my friends list, which just appears on the right hand side here, I can make that available to them personally, or I can make it available to everybody, and I can customize the entire home page of my profile in that manner. If I want to change my profile photo, then I can just click on change the profile photo, and I can just simply drag and drop a new one in here, or I can select and browse. If I want to, if I've got a webcam, or if I'm using a mobile device, I can use the camera on the mobile device, or I can use a webcam. I can take a photograph, and I can use a photograph of myself. I can change the background image, and I can also change the cover banner, which is this little segment up here. So that's the profile area, and you can see there I've got some notifications. That's the ones that appear up there, and I can bring those up. I can see whether they're unread or read. I can send gifts, to electronic gifts to members as well. I can add and remove friends. I can see what groups I belong to, what galleries I participate in, like uploading documents to, like maybe character sheets or maybe some fan fiction or fan art. I can alter all the settings of my profile, so if I need to change my password, or if I want to change the way it appears, or it's how it's laid out, I can do that in the settings. Show my points and any items that I've collected on my adventures, so to speak. Let's jump straight back into, so this is profile area, and everybody has this kind of profile, and if I want to, I can look at somebody else's profile just by clicking on a friend there. I can click on little Zelly there, and I can see that she's got some she's a member of this small little test group called My Groups, little test group here. She's been active for 8 months, and she's got a little Twitter handle there. I can see that, there you go, and I can post a public message on her activity feed and things like that. So she's got a customized she's got a darkened background there with some clouds, some stars and things like that. Nice little avatar picture and a little banner station. She's the IGame online researcher that does all of our looking up of various information of who's who and what's happening, and news and articles and things like that. And I can bring up her profile and things like that. So everybody has their own profile page. Let's go jump into the across the top banner here. So let's go back to the home page. Let's navigate our back to way to the front. There we are, back on the home page here, and you can see I'm going to jump into the activity. Now the activity allows for all members to be able to post what's going on in their games and sessions like that, and as well as like anything they want, news articles they want to report on, any links they want to share, videos they want to upload, maybe some podcasts, maybe some photographs, maybe some get-togethers, cosplay, anything, drawings, all that kind of stuff. You can freely go ahead and you can showcase it much in the same way as you do on a normal social media. So I'll just click on this area here, and I'll do a little magnify here, just so you guys can see this, so I can see what's new, guy. So this is demo time. Then with Whisper, There we go, and I can put that in there. And it says where do I want to place this. Now I can place this in my general profile, which means it will appear on the activity wall. Or I can showcase this in a particular group. If I want to, I can put it into a particular group, and in this case I want to put it into the test group. So if I type in the word test, you can see that it automatically filters and brings up the test group. It searches the groups that I'm a member of, or either I own or control, or I belong to, effectively, and then I can add it to that test group. And if I want to, I can add a second test group and a second test group and a second group, a second group, a second group, a third group, a fourth group. So I don't need to keep typing this message out. This message will automatically be self-replicated into multiple groups. So say for example I've got a D&D group, maybe it runs Wednesdays and Thursdays, and then I've got another group that runs Fridays and Saturdays, and I want to be able to tell them that I'm away on holiday. I can say, hey guys, I'm going to be away for the next week. I'm taking some time off and I'm going to do a little bit of traveling, and maybe I want to put that in both groups. I don't need to type the message out twice. I can simply just add it to both groups and then just post the update, and it's gone out to the group. So I'm going to leave this one on just in general here, and I'm just going to leave that. So it's going to go on my activity wall. Now the activity wall will only show information that is relevant to you. So if you're a friend, or if you're a follower, or if you are a belong to a particular group, then it'll filter it automatically to show the information that's relevant just to you. It won't just show everybody's spamming of messages and links and things like that. It's filtered accordingly depending on your connections that you make inside iGame through your tabletop role-playing experience. So let's post that. There we go. And you can see there it says that I've posted up a new message. Whisper posted an update a few seconds ago. Demo time with Whisper. Fantastic. If I wanted to, I could add a picture to that. Let's just, oh, there we go. And so, oh, let me close that one. Let's go back to just refresh that page. There we go. Oh, got a bit of an itchy nose today, guys. So let's add a picture. If I wanted to, I can add a picture in there. If I wanted to, I could add a piece of music, or if I wanted to, I could add some video, or maybe some documents as well. So I could add a video. I can paste in the link of a video. There we are. Add the link, hit the add button, and it'll pop that video straight into the activity feed as well. So I can post a message and I can post a video at the same time. So if you want to add and share media, you can go ahead and you can do that in your groups and in your activity as well, in your profile. I can search the activity wall if I'm searching for something in particular, maybe for something on Rolemaster, or something on Middle-earth, or maybe on Lord of the Rings, or maybe on Shadow Worlds or something like that. I can search accordingly, or I can use the built-in filter system that will show me new members that might have joined, any new groups that have been created, any group updates, any profile updates, just friendships only, or maybe some gallery uploading. Then I can filter it and show those particular information on the activity wall, and that keeps us all updated with what's going on the website. I can filter it according to just show my friends. So if I click that, it takes me away and it just filters it according to my friends. That seems a little big today, doesn't it? There we go. Let's get back to normal size. I can show just group entries, and you can see there's some group entries that have been posted in. I can show anything that's been favorited, or I can show anything where I have been mentioned. Now, because the site's fairly new, nothing that I've been mentioned an awful lot. Underneath, I can do a response to a particular activity or wall posting. I can favorite it, I can delete it, I can give it a nice little thumbs up with various little avatars here. I can go ahead and I can edit it after it's been typed in, like edited it already, and change the size of the text box here. And if I wanted to, I can also put it out to various social medias as well, so I can send the same article and all the links associated with it, and everything, all its content can be shared out with Twitter or Pinterest or with various other types of, even WhatsApp can be sent out via that kind of thing. So if I want to, I can post a request here. So I'll do a little like here. I'll put a nice little flower for Easter. There we go. So there we go. I'm thankful. It says that I've got 1 count for thankful. Nice little Easter thing there. There we go. I can close that one. There we go. So that's the activity feed, and you can do that on your activity wall and on your profile, and you can do it various down into your groups as well, which brings us to the next one, which is groups. So let's go back to the top. Incidentally, there's a nice little button down here in the bottom right hand corner which takes us straight to the top, no matter how far we scroll down. If I go all the way to the bottom kind of thing, like right the way to the bottom kind of thing, I can jump myself straight back to the top by using this little return button that appears in the bottom right hand corner. You guys can see that, I'm sure. Let's go into groups. As I bring up the groups tab, you can see that there is one group already being created, showing you my groups. That's groups that I belong to. Or you can go ahead and you can create your own group. So if you want to create your own little gaming group, maybe on a particular, let's say for Dragonlance or something like that, for or Forgotten Realms or Ravenloft, anything like that kind of stuff, then you can go ahead and you can create a game group. Or if you want to create a cosplay group, or you want to create a writers group, or an artist group, or if you want to create a tabletop board game kind of group, maybe Star Wars, something like that, X-Wing versus TIE Fighter, I don't know, maybe tabletop warfare, maybe Warhammer or something like that, you can go ahead and you can create that type of group. So let's jump into the particular groups that I've already created. I can search the groups, I can choose the type of group, and you can see I can filter it according to cosplay, fan fiction and art, role playing or video games, and I can also bring up the ones that have got the most members. Any newly created groups, I can list them alphabetically. So let's go for this group here, which I've already created, a test group, which we do a lot of our programming inside. You can see it's exactly the same layout as your profile, which means it functions in the same kind of way. You can see there's an activity feed for this particular group. You can see I've got some group administrators and I've got some group moderators, which means you can assign people, members of your team, to be able to give them permission to be able to edit and upload and recruit and to make changes to particular pages of your particular group as well. You can join as many groups as you want, and you can create as many groups as you want. So if you run multiple sessions on multiple days of the week, you can have them separate, or you can have them all in one group. Nice cup of tea here. There's a little bit of a bio here saying testing all these things out, but you can put in there whatever you wish. If you want to add a little photograph, or if you add some video, if you want to add actual links to an external third-party website that you maybe run, you could go ahead and do that. Remember, people can search these groups, so they might search for a particular special type of group. Maybe you're doing a Last of Us type zombie apocalypse kind of group, and other members are looking to maybe try them out or check them, see if there's one running or something like that. I can do a search in there in the groups menu up here, and it'll show up if they're doing some kind of that kind of genre. You can bring up its members. Let's have a look at the members of this group. There's going to be a few in this group because this is one of our test groups. So you can see that we've got Mike here, who's a proofreader, we've got Zelly, we've got Faye, we've got a couple of test users, and we've got myself as well. We can send out invites if we want to. We can invite people to come and join our group, or maybe send invites out to private invites out to people who might be interested in joining one of our gaming sessions. So we can filter according to invite. We're going to invite our friends, or we can just invite everybody, and then we can add them to the list, and invites will automatically be sent out. If it's a big list, then we can use the search button. If we're looking for any particular person, then we can use the search button to invite that particular person if they have an iGame account. Each group has a gallery, which can be turned on and off. Maybe you want to create a group that doesn't want a gallery, but you can have a gallery, and in the gallery you'll be able to actually upload your videos or your character sheets or maps or charts or tables, or maybe experience tables, or maybe house rules and things like that, and you could upload them into your little your little galleries here, kind of thing. I've got one here, and again, I can create a gallery if I want to. So I want to create a special gallery, like a folder for a new campaign that we're going to be starting. I want some ideas, I can post them in there. I can jump to my galleries, which will be the galleries on my profile. I can just show all the galleries. If you want to manage the group, we can go into the management, and we can change the management of the group. And this is where we can appoint our moderators. We can make the group passworded. We can change the group name. There's a little tick box down here which we can tick, which will say send a notification or an email to everybody saying that, hey, there's been some changes to the group, just be aware of them. Or we can outline what those changes particularly are. So I can change the photo of the group much in the same way as we could with our profile. I can change the cover image, which is this banner. I can edit the members of this, and this is where I assign my administrators or my moderators. So we can see here, these are members of the group. So if I want to edit Zelly's position, I want to change it from moderator to administrator, I can go ahead, I can do that. If I want to kick or ban or remove members from the group, maybe for misbehaving or breaking some of the terms and conditions, then I can go ahead and can do that as well. Filters are always built onto every particular site as well, so I can filter just so the administrators, just the moderators, any members, or maybe anybody who's been banned, or I can just do a general search. Any requests to join the group, if you want to, you can use a requesting system to say, like, some people want to join your group rather than have an open house group where you have hundreds of people all just coming along and checking out all your content and all your sessions and things like that. Maybe you have people like an open door kind of policy. You can have requests if you want to. You can turn the requests on and people can request to join a group, and then you can screen them first and then you can admit them, or maybe not. Then we have rooms, which I'll get to, and we can also go ahead and delete the group. So let's go back to the home page for the group. Let's jump back into management, because there's one little thing I just wanted to highlight and say, like, the security regarding this is pretty tight. If you want to, you can keep your you can specify the type of group. This is where we turn the gallery on and off. So if your group does not require a gallery, you can disable it. If you require a gallery, you can turn it back on. You can specify what type of group it is. So this is a public group, which means it'll show up in the actual group library and it'll show up in the group search. It's a private group, which means it'll show up, but it's invite only. And you can have a hidden group, which is basically an administrator's kind of group, where it is 100% invite only and doesn't show up any of its activity or any of its its searches or anything like that. The type of group it is, and again, you can specify, you can say which ones you admit, which ones you don't admit, maybe which ones you better centered on, and which ones that you're accustomed to, cosplaying, and maybe say role playing. Maybe it's just role playing on its own, but you can turn these little tabs on and off, and it helps people who are searching for particular groups, looking for a one that they're probably best suited to. So if you have a new person want to get into role playing, or getting into cosplay, or into fan fiction, maybe fan art and things like that, or just general video games of fantasy or sci-fi role playing nature, then they can filter. These ticks will accommodate the filtering system, so it makes it easy for people to find those particular groups. Group invitations, who can send out invitations or who can invite people to join a particular group, and you can say you got group admins and moderators, group admins only, or just all members can invite everybody else. Let's look at the details again. Let us just load up, there we go. And again, you can tick the box to say notify everybody that these changes have been taken place. That email goes out to all the group members, and it's a little pop-up message on their mail system, wherever they're using, to say, hey, there's been some changes, just be aware of them. So and remember to save changes. Let's go into rooms and just show the rooms, because a lot of people this is one of the features that we're particularly excited about, is rooms allows you to actually create a game room or a meeting room or a get-together kind of room through the built-in video conferencing system. So let's go for we can go select a room if you want to, or we can create a room. You can see that I've created some rooms, and this is within this group, so you can be a member of 3 or 4 different groups, and maybe in those 3 or 4 groups you could have maybe 5 or 6 different rooms running at the same time. So if you just generally want to meet everybody associated with that particular group, so you just want to meet the entire group itself, just click the meet the group button, and what it does is the website will automatically go through it and activate the video conferencing equipment. There we go, and you can see that's me. Hey guys, getting a bit grey hair here. and I can join the group. So let's join the group. You can customize before going into the group. You can customize the audio settings. You can see there I've got a fair bit of it going. You can customize the webcams, and you can also change some of the settings as well. So I can change my virtual background. Let's just keep it blurred, kind of thing. Any notifications, my profile as well. So I want to hide my self view. It pulls all the information directly from the website itself, from your profile, and any shortcuts I might be using. So let's go ahead and have that, and let's join the group so you get an idea what it looks like. There we go. So it's a little game group kind of thing. Everybody's profile appears down the side, everybody's webcam. We can go ahead and we can make this full screen. There we go, dead exciting. And we can use little emoji kind of things. If we want to, we can then try the chat. We can create polls and questions and things like that. Let's see. Oh, we can also share our desktops and windows and various game environments as well. So if you're using Roll20 and you want to be able to let's just turn that one off. There we go. If you want to, I can change the layout of the screen as well, so I can have it with my little icons on the side here. I've got performance ratings. I can flip the camera. I can pin it to the top, pin a user to the top. I don't know, we may want to do that. Or I can start a recording and various other things. So there's lots of things you can do inside the video conferencing. Let's see who's been doing the most. There we go. So somebody's doing a little bit of talking. That'll be me. I'm talking at the moment into the video conferencer, and you can see it's highlighting and monitoring my activity. So there we go. Let's just leave that, and if you click it out, it tells you that the video message has been ended. So you can create a room. So let's go meet members as it loads up. There we go. It's loading the room again, and I can create a room. So let's create game room. Let's say game room 2, and then I can send out invites. As I want to invite somebody to join that room. Let's say I want to invite, say test user. As soon as I start typing, it automatically searches through the members database, and it says, "Hi, yeah, I've got a member here who's a test user." I can invite that person there. I'll send an invite. If I wanted to, and I can add somebody else. Let's say I want to add Zelly as well. It'll search through, and I can add Zelly as well. There we go. So I'm building a room ready with my players. If I wanted to, I could do that, and then at the end of it's all, I can send out the invites and automatically launch me into that room with those members logging in. So groups will stay open until you eventually click on the leave the room, in which case it'll take the room from the list. But most people tend to just use the meet the group kind of thing. So a little bit of a recap there. So there we go, that's it. Okay, so go back to the home page. Video calls ended. Fantastic. So you can create rooms, you can create quick recap. So you got your activity, you got your profile, you've got your members directory, and you have your groups. There we go. See, so we have our members, we have our activity, which is the what people are doing, what people are sharing. There we go. And we have the groups as well. So it's a full integrated kind of like social media hobby related kind of environment. Very safe, very secure. And all of it has access to the tools that you need. Let's go a little bit crazy with this, a little bit more of the dice thrower. We'll get this out the way down the side. Let's say we want to add 3d6s, which we'll use for D&Ds. Throw those, it rolls them, it adds them up. It's not a problem. If we want to go crazy and want to add 30 d6s, then the system can handle it, not a problem. If we want to be complicated and we want to add one of every dice, let's say, and throw it all, then the games, the physics engine and the lighting and all the rest of it automatically picks those dice and throws them for us. You want to do D100. It's D100, the D110s and the D100 units, and throw them both together. And you can see there I got a 0, 0 and a 9, which is only 9. It's fine. If you want to add a modifier to it as well, you can type a modifier in just by clicking into it. So we'll add 55 to this. So it's a D100 plus 55. Let's throw this dice and see what it comes back as. 31 plus 55, 86. Calculator on the side as needed. So we got 55 minus 6 plus 36 equals, and well, I'm talking divided plus whatever. It added all the sums up, but it's keeping it all there nice and neat. So you can post your activity, you can post your videos, your files, and all that kind of stuff into groups, and have libraries, and it collates all the information and notifies through the notification system when you next log in. We have bookmarking. Bookmarking allows you to bookmark those important pieces of information from the resource library. That's this area down the middle here, that you might want quick reference to. So for example, I've got a Space Master Law Officer here, which I've got bookmarked, which is in the Space Master section, which is also here. You can see here, Space Master on Monday, which will take me straight to it and what I want to play next, kind of thing. You can see here I've got one locked and one not locked. I can share those bookmarks with other individuals as well. And somebody says, oh, do you have a link to blah blah blah, then I can share those bookmarks just by clicking the share button. It comes up with a little share link kind of thing. I can share my bookmarks. If I wanted to, I can just pick a particular one. And you can see some of these are padlocked and some of these are not padlocked. That's because some are private and some are public. And you can see there I've got a one called Will Play Next. I can share that one if I want to, but I have nothing bookmarked in that one. So let's go ahead and add something into that to make it easier for you to be able to find those kind of things. And you can see that they're automatically in my drop down here in bookmarks. Or I can navigate them through the admin center at the top. And if I wanted to, I can customize these. So let's manage a category, and let's change from private to public, and I can also rename it or change the names of them. I can move things around and things like that through the bookmark managing tool. And we'll do a little bit of bookmarking in a moment. Galleries, again, you can browse all the galleries that you have access to, whether that's a group's gallery or your private gallery or maybe a friend's gallery that's been shared with you. And you can upload videos and pictures and the likes of, and you can browse through them. So you know, leave comments, you get the idea. Upload, delete, and show. Maybe want to show a character sheet, so let's go for some Rolemaster character sheets. So if I click into these kind of things, you can see that this one is appears to be blank. Let's have a look, see if I can view. I don't know if there's any in here. Oh, there's a few. Let's have a look at this character sheet here, and again I can click them. And oh, there we go. I was going to say they're not showing, but they are showing, so I can bring these up here. You can see that I've got a Rolemaster character sheet in here that I can access. I can leave comments to and things like that. So if I wanted to, then that could be in one of our test group ones, or it could be in my private one. It could be in one of my game session ones, but I have quick access to all those kind of things. I can filter accordingly. I can create a new gallery. I can create a photo, a short filter according to photos, videos, audio, documents, or I can go ahead and I can edit them if need be. You can see that. So I can change if a gallery is public or if it is private, and I can change the privacy according to logged in users only, or just to friends, or maybe even a particular person. But I can tick and I can mark these as accordingly. I can change the names of libraries, or I can change the names of files inside a library. So you have full management control over the galleries that you have access to, whether it's in a group or in your own personal access. We have a shop, podcast, spend points, and publications. Our publications library is where all of our content's going to be left. It's going to be left in all of our cards, all of our maps, all of our guides and walkthroughs, but guides and things like that, like your herb cards, your equipment cards, spell cards, characters sheets, and things like that. But they will be in our publications, as well as in the split. All of them will be in or grouped together in a giant publications library. But in each section that they belong to, they will be filtered out and they will be available to you from there as well. So let's go back to the home page and re-navigate. So we've covered, we have a profile page which we can customize, and we can add social media to, post links and share activity and feeds and things like that, make friends, message, and generally just hang out all together. We have groups where we can create groups, or we can manage groups, or we can keep all of our content and our sessions, organized events and activities and things like that separate from other people. So you can have friends in your groups, you might have friends in other groups, you might belong to one group, you might belong to 100 groups, but we can have meetings in those groups, we can have game sessions, maybe planning and that sort of stuff, maybe idea groups, or maybe we just have groups based around other hobbies apart from role-playing, such as video games or cosplaying and things like that. We have a members library, we have bookmarking, we have galleries. Let's jump into the important part of it, which is going to be the resources. And we start off with maybe we'll start off with Rolemaster Legacy, because I know that's what a lot of people are already tuning in for. So we'll jump into the Rollemasters. Now these segments are concise. They take a little bit while just to load in, but they do eventually load in. And the system's designed so. Oh, there we go. Cat's just jumping across the keyboard there. They're designed so they all look very familiar, and they all kind of like have a similar navigation system and all kind of a layout. They're all designed graphically to look like the Player's Handbook or the Games Master's Dungeon DM Guide or the Rolemaster books themselves. So you can see there we're in the Rolemaster Legacy section. Now Rolemaster Legacy would be volumes 1 and 2, which we have taken and we've amalgamated it together to make it more versatile for new players and experienced players to be able to use the full resources of all the Rolemaster sessions up to RMU. We don't include an RMU. RMU is a separate entity altogether, being taken care of by Iron Crown Enterprises. So as you can see here, we have a page layout with all the details on the central page with tabs across down the sides here, which are like our chapters, and then within the chapters we have sub-chapters for each particular one. So if you can imagine this one has been chapter 1, and this is 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4. Those that are familiar with the Rolemaster book reading and resources and modules and things like that will be familiar with that kind of environment. So the first one is races. And these resources are designed to help people to be able to choose a character, make a character, and be able to understand the fundamental basics of how that character is supposed to work, or how that character is supposed to adapt or play. Again, you still have access to the dice roller. Notice you still have access to the dice roller and the calculator on these resources, and you'll also notice once you've dropped into a resource, the resource automatically memorizes what you're trying to do within the book. It does a behind the scenes kind of card indexing, helping you navigate, jumping from one page to another page and helping you find information that is relevant to you. So races, they have the urban, the rural, the highman. You can see I'm just clicking around here and you can see all the information is changing within the fly. And we're trying to make this accessible to everybody, so wherever you see these little play buttons, if you hit the play button,
this is a generalized label for the town.
That part of content will be read out to you live. That will be read out through a text-to-speech engine that's built into the website to help people who aren't quite linguistic enough to be able to understand or read some of the complicated wording, or maybe have difficulty in having things explained. And you'll find these on various pages. You can see there.
The woodmen have long dwelt in the great forests.
And I'm just stopping it there just by clicking it again off the actual player. So while it's playing, it'll read the entire content within the orange text, and if I click off I can stop it beforehand. So all the information is there, so you can have the demeanor, the languages, you can have professions, specialty skills, everything you need for Rolemaster, the common man, the mixed man, there's various stat modifiers and resistance modifiers as well. Let's jump into the professions. You can see the page automatically changes. So if I leave myself on High Elf and I go to Professions and I look under N, because I'm thinking about playing a Necromancer, maybe somebody nice, and I jump back to Races again, it automatically knows that I last made the suggestion of playing a High Elf, so it keeps that tab open for me. It doesn't reload the page. It loads all these resources in one go, and keeps that information stored. So it's very handy in that respect. Let's go to Professions, and you can see that there's probably around about 200, I would say, professions in total that have been built into the system, from all the different types of the Rolemaster resources, and they've all been incorporated and they've been simplified. So if there's skills that are in Rolemaster 1 that aren't in Rolemaster 2, or skills in Rolemaster 2 that aren't in Rolemaster 1, or maybe the wording's been changed or something like that, they have been kind of like streamlined to keep it uniformal, to try and give everybody the best chance of being able to play that particular character they want to be able to play. So let's look at the let's look at the Bard, for example. If we click on the Bard and just open the Bard up, it opens up the Bard resource pages. Now the Bard resource pages is like a player's handbook for the Bard. You can see here that the page has been changed somewhat from the left hand side menu to top side menu, simply saying the Bard. Now I can bookmark this if I want to, and I want to bookmark this one. I'm going to create a new character, a new category, and I'm going to say this is RM. I'm going to say Monday night. I'll go with that one, and I'm going to bookmark that one, and I've added it into that one. So let's go. I'm making a let's do that. So list my categories. There we go. I'm going to say it's RM bookmark night. I'm going to add it into that one. There we go. So I've bookmarked that now. So when I next log in, I can automatically use my navigational button on my bookmarks. There we go, and I can jump straight to it by going to my bookmarks there, and say everybody's bookmarks are all going to be completely different because it's controlled by the login parameter. Let's go back to the Bard, and you can see I've got a brief description of the Bard. I've got some stats down the side here, which means I get +10 in law group, +5 in artistic activity and things like that. What realm it belongs to, what variation is it? Well, it's the Bard of a Bard. There's no variation of it. And what type of character it is. It's a semi-spell user, and if I want to, I can make a vote on here for feedback as to how do you rate this profession. If maybe you've played it before, or maybe you are thinking of playing it, then you can look at the rating to say whether it's a good character to play, or if maybe it's not so good character to play, and that helps us as well as helps new players. Maybe it's an easy character to play, or maybe it's a very difficult character to get into. There's a source material as well. All of our pages have a source material at the bottom, and you can see this one is from Rolemaster Standard Rules, which is where all this information comes from. So let's look at the spell lists. You can see you've got spell lists, training packs, development points, and musical instruments. And there's various other tabs across the top which will help that character play that role player, that particular profession a little bit better. So maybe you want to pick a character or pick a profession that you're not so familiar with. Maybe you don't understand how an assassin works, or maybe you don't understand what a beastmaster is responsible for. There are tabs across the top here which will help you know a little bit more about that particular character. So these are like resource packs for all the professions. You can imagine all these professions here have resource packs. So if we pick a more obscure one, let's see the S here, and we'll go to Seer, and let's bring the Seer one up so you can see a comparison. You can see here that there is a resource pack here for Seer with their spells, the training packs, development costs, and omens, because the Seer is more like a fortune teller, kind of like an oracle as such. They have access to omens, which have a content library of omens such as superstitious kind of stuff, or maybe some kind of like divination. There'll be some background information to help the character in that respect get better into the role and kind of make it more believable and more story driven. Let's look at the spell lists. So you can see the spell lists here are for the Bard base list, and you can see I can scroll through these these are the spell lists, and if I click on one of them, it'll take you to the spell index itself. It's open mentalism, so I've got some open mentalism lists here as well. You can see the graphics are all uniformal, so the graphic that you see on here would also match the graphic on the spell card, as well as the graphic on the on various pages and things like that. So you recognize what something is, you more associate it, not so much, maybe not remember the actual list name, but you remember what it had on the front or what it looked like. Then it's easy for you to be able to navigate and find. And you got some evil mentalism in as well for if you wanted to play an evil bard at a particular, you know, it's there, it's available to you, and maybe your games master will allow you to do that. If you want to play an evil character, then he might say allow you to substitute one of the open mentalism, evil mentalism ones for an open mentalism list. Again, you can go ahead and you can rate these kind of things. Training packs. Now there's various amount of training packs. You can see there is nations of training packs, and each one of them has a development point cost. For the bard, the ones highlighted in with the highlighted text in yellow is the ones more suitable towards that particular profession, and that is the same for all of the let's have a look at Swashbuckler, for example. Training packs, there we go, all of them. So the ones that are highlighted are better suited towards that original profession if you're taking training packs. And the cost it is for you to be able to take that training pack. And we'll get to training packs when we get to the training pack section. Development points costs is your development point cost tables for each of your categories, and the skills within that category. You can see there's no skill specialization for bard because it is one of the base professions. If it was a variant, then there would be some special adaptation for skills. Skill point cost tables listed below if there was any spell lists added or anything like that. And then there's a small little section for the bard as well to help him better understand the difference in instruments. So he's got some information about some percussion instruments and what they might be, such as triangle, timbrel, tambourine, drums, bells, cowbells, cymbals, rattles, things like that. Stringed instruments, woodwind instruments, and then there's some examples of kind of medieval music with explanations and descriptions. Let's close that one, and let's close that one as well, and let's go have a look at something a little bit more in depth. So if we're going to pick, say, for the astrologer, a person who wants to be able to play the astrologer might not know an awful lot about star signs or about astrological kind of like conjunctions and alignments and all that kind of stuff. So all that's been added in for you to try and make it a little bit easier for you to be able to actually play an astrologer if you want to play an astrologer. So this basic game, same layout, a little bit of information here which can be read out to you.
Astrologers are hybrid spell users.
Again, it can be read out to you to make you better understand where it is, what bonuses you get for picking an astrologer, realm you belong to mentalism. It's a variant of the astrologer, it's a hybrid spell user, and again you can vote for it to say whether it's an easy character to play or a hard character to play, or whether it's a good character or not so good character to play. What spell lists are associated with the astrologer? You can see some astrologer based lists here. You can also see that they belong to channeling, open, and channeling mentalism. And if you want to play an evil spell astrologer, get my words out, you can choose to be, if your games master allows it, you may be able to substitute some evil channeling lists or some evil mentalism lists in your spell casting. Training packs, again, the highlighted ones are best associated with the astrologer. So advisor, amateur mage, you got some apothecary, you got some an architect, you got an astronomer itself, crystal caster, crafter, more magically orientated, as well as like ones that don't require an awful lot of preparation. Will cost you cheaper in development point costs. Development point costs for the particular skill, for your skill categories and your skills, are also listed here. And you can see these are listed vertically as well as horizontally. So you've got the horizontal side here, tells you the actual profession it is, which is the astrologer, and the categories it belongs to, making it easy for you to be able to create those characters, navigate and find. Maybe you can bookmark these, so you can bookmark. In fact, I'll go ahead and I'll bookmark this one, and I'll add this one into Monday night as well. So I'll have two in there now. There we go, bookmark two of them. And if I go back to the home page very quickly, you can see that I now have a 2 in here, which tells me I've got 2 bookmarked for Monday night. And if I just click it and jump to it, it tells me they're listed there, the Bard and the Astrologer, and I can share those with friends if need be. Common horoscopes. So you would imagine if you're playing the Astrologer, you might want to know the basics of like the effects of different star signs and things like that. So there is an entire index here for various star signs, all the star signs associated with the astrology, not to be confused with astronomy. So if you meet a person, you've maybe an NPC or something like that, and they tell you that they are Libra, then you can probably associate it with these types of characteristics. And if you want to choose to share that in game role playing with your colleagues and campaigns, or maybe keep that information to yourself, then that is what brings about more storytelling. Some of our helpers have been writing short stories for each of the professions, to accompany them, to help them get better into preparation, and give them some insight and some information and maybe a few pointers as to how to role play that particular profession or character. And these are written in short story segments here, written the stars kind of thing. Short story written by one of our collaborators, Lily Lithium, and all that kind of stuff all helps. Again, this is all created by the community, and we welcome anybody who's got any ideas or any input into creating and adding these particular types of resources. Let's just let that load up while we go back into this one. So they're all laid out pretty much the same way, and this effectively becomes a profession kind of like player's handbook kind of thing, which we have bookmarked, and when you bookmark it you have access to all of our tabs. If we update these with additional contents, then because you've bookmarked it, it'll automatically pull those updates across, and given the new relevant information to you, which is quite useful. Let's close that and go back to our Rolemaster homepage, and we'll continue down through the segments as I'll have another cup of tea. There we go. See how quickly it kind of loaded in. Again, we've got our dice rollers. They're all working there fine. Training packs. Now, we talked about in the professions where we can have access to training packs. Each of the training packs is laid out exactly the same way as pretty much the same way as the professions. Listed A to Z. So if we were going to pick, say, the Jester, for example, let's go with that one. Let's punch up Jester here, and let's just keep that open again. I can bookmark a training pack if I want to, much in the same way as I want to bookmark a profession. It tells us there a little bit of information about the Jester, how long it takes, what type of money income and that kind of thing, and what specialities it might have as part of a background. It says you get 6 rolls there. You roll dice, and these become your background kind of like item requirement, or maybe something you can add into your backstory. What would a training pack do? So the gold ones are represented as being category increasements, the silver ones are skill increasements, and the bronze ones are where you get to choose what increasements you want to designate. So for example, distribute 1 rank to a skill from the category artistic active, and you can see there, and you can compare them against each other by having multiple ones open. Development point cost will eventually be a huge table of how much that training pack costs per profession that you've chosen. So much in the same way as the reverse of the profession versus the training pack, the training pack will also pull the information back and reverse it and show it how much it is against each profession. So I hope that makes a lot of sense. There's little sliders here that tell you what the average cost is per training pack for this training pack. So the adventure training pack has an average cost of around about 40. So if you only have 50 development point costs, then you know which ones are going to be like more available to you rather than costing you far too much. Some of these training packs have spells associated with them. So if we look at the Arachnomancy, for example, the study of spiders and things like that. You can see here that they have 7 background options available to them. They also have a spell list, which where we click on it will take us to the spell list library for that particular thing. Again, we can bookmark all these. Let's close that. So that's our training packs, and I think there's probably about I think there was about 150, 160 training packs available to all the professions. So there's about a couple of hundred professions, and there's probably maybe a few hundred training packs as well. So you can see the combinations that can be created. You can see here as I am clicking through here, if I just set these up. So if we pick Hillman, Paladin for example, I'm picking the top one, Temple Monk kind of thing. You can see that it's memorizing what we are picking, and again we can go through to it and we can bookmark them as well. Let's have a look at spell lists. Spell lists is a huge database of all the spells that are associated with Rolemaster Series 1 and 2. Whether they're in the companions or if they're in Essence Law or Alchemy or anything like that, they're all associated in here. I can filter this according to just the top 25 or just show 10, or I could show a whole page of 100 or something like that. If I wanted to, I could search I could search these, or I could organize them according to its name, the list it belongs to, the level it is, the category it falls into, and what realm it belongs to. And again, if I do click each one of these open pages, it'll take me straight to the spell list area. So if we are looking for a heal spell, as soon as I start typing, it automatically filters out showing me just the healing type spells. If I wanted to use a quick fly spell, as soon as I type the word fly, it automatically starts showing me the fly spells. It shows me what spell list they belong to, who has the ability to cast it, and what realm it belongs to, and even what level it is. So if we're looking for a teleport, there we go, it starts bringing up the teleport ones. There's also telekinesis. So if I do to a teleport, there we go, it'll show me there that there's various teleport ones, and they're mostly associated with arcade motions, circles of power, circles of magic, cup magic, dream traveling, and escapes. This database is still being worked on, so it's still considerably massive. It already has stored in it, how many is stored in it? Oh, I'm going right at the bottom here. Let's just filter it and show the top 10. There we go, make it easy for me. 4,500 spells already stored into it. Eventually these will be filtered out by these categories into these particular tabs to show the base spells, channeling spells, essence spells, mentalism spells, arcane spells, training pack spells, other spells, and any optional ones that have been added into Rolemaster from other sources as well, such as Open Hand or Other Mind or any of those kind of things, or ones that have been created by the community and want them to be submitted. The graphics for each one, as you'll know, is associated with the graphics on the cards and the graphics on the actual professions spell lists as well. So bring those up and show the spell lists. You can see associated with these kind of things. You can see there's a story there for the Paladin, just as an example of what we talked about earlier. So spell list is quite handy kind of archive database of things that you can get into. If we were going to pick a one, let's see if we can find a one here. Let's go for see if I can bring one of these up. Maybe I can bring this one up. I don't know if it loads, but we'll have a look at it. There you go. So it brings up kind of a blank spell page at the moment, and you can see that it's broken up on the left hand side according to its tiering system. So level 1 to 10, 11 to 20, and 21 to 50. We know that there is higher spells, but we will add those as and when. It's got the basic information in these kind of things, so the name of the spell, the area of effect, the duration, the range, and the graphic that goes with it, which matches the spell card itself. If you want to show details, you can show details. So let's go and show details for, and all this information will be entered before you guys get to see it and use it. and see if I can find a one might be actually working. Let's go. I think it was is it the Druid? I think it's the Druid one. Let's have a look. Druid. Let's punch up the Druid and let's see if there's a spell list in there, which I know we use for testing. Spell list, and I think it's this one. So if we click on this, and that should take us to that particular spell list. You can see that there's a one already been put in here. We can click on show details. Now, as well as bookmarking this list, which a lot of people might want to just create a bookmark and just create it for the spells for a particular character, which you can do. You can go ahead in here and you can manage the categories and create a one for, say, Rislin spell lists, and you can add it to that. Inside the spells themselves, this one you can see goes to 175. You might want to be aware of a couple of spells inside it that you use frequently. So what we've done is we've added actually favoriting spells in the list, and you click put a little tick in the box next to the spell that you use most frequently, say animal sleep, animal tongue, and say animal location, that you use on a particular animal that you have as a companion. Then what it does is it uses the cookie system that's built into the site to be able to associate with your profile and your login. So next time you log in and you jump to that one, and we'll do this as an example, so we'll add that one again to Friday. There we go. Next time you log in, it'll automatically show these spells up inside this list that you've bookmarked to help you navigate and find those spells a little bit quicker. So you got the details there, kind of thing. So we show a list, back to the details, you can see it memorizes it. We go to that one, show details, no ticks. That one shows ticks, kind of thing. But what we'll do is we'll do a full demonstration of that. So let's go back to the home page so you can see it all working. Again, if you log out and log back in, if you log in with the same user profile, it pulls the information back across. So let's go on to here. See, it says Monday night Rollmaster, 3 bookmarked now. So let's have a look at it, and we're going to jump straight to Animal Mastery for the Druid. I'm going to click that one, and then if I say show details, you can see it's memorized that those ones I need favorited. So it's built into the system. Very handy, very useful. Eventually, you'll be able to navigate to those actual web pages or to the resources of spells directly from the spell database, the master spell database, and from your profile pages as well. So if you've bookmarked the Druid and you want to build the Druid spell lists, so when you click on the Druid spell lists and scroll through them, you'll be able to find the spell list that you want to use, and it'll link directly to it, or you can just bookmark them. So spell listing is very handy. All those spells, if you don't know if you notice, all those spells can also be read out to you as well, and explained by clicking the small little play button alongside each of the spells. Now, bearing in mind that Rollmaster has thousands of spells, tens of thousands almost, it's taken a little while for us to be able to build that database and get it out to you guys. So bear with us with that. We are testing it. There's a lot of spell checking needs to be done. There's a lot of let's just refresh that and get it going again. There we go. A lot of spell checking needs to be done. A lot of testing needs to be taking place. So links work, bookmarking works, favoriting, and all that kind of stuff works as well. Back to the home page. We got a skill list. A lot of people need to know what all these skills actually do and what stats are associated with them. So let's just look down to communications 1, and we'll do lip reading, and you can see it's reasoning, memory, and empathy, and it'll read out.
This skill provides a bonus for reading lips and sign language. Lip reading is only,
and I can stop that just by clicking off it. So if you need to be a games master, might want to quickly look up and see what activity requires what skill. They can get a quick explanation and a quick brief reading, as well as a player as well. A player might want to wonder when they're ranking up a level or something like that, what skills they need to advance, given the situation and the circumstances that they're role playing in. So there's an entire skills broken into skill categories, obviously. You can see the animal handling. Oh, there we go. See, so they're all listed in there, ready for you guys to be able to quickly navigate and be familiar with the skills and the skill categories and things like that. Herbs, we want to include all the usual herbs that you have access to in Rolemaster, and I know they're different from MERP as well, and we'll get to those kind of things. There are herb cards that have been created to help players that they can print off and they can look at and get the information from in their own time without disturbing the Games Master. And asking the Games Master to look stuff up. Players can do this themselves now, and they get a visual representation of what that particular herb or plant or poison or whatever it is looks like. So it helps bring the role playing more to life. Same with diseases and things like that. So we've got some diseases and poisons here as well, with what they're associated with: roots, leaves, roots, berries, bats, that kind of thing, poisons, blowfish, bees, all that kind of stuff. They can tell instantaneously just by looking at the graphic whether it's good for them or whether it's bad for them, and what it's closely associated with. So they'll look at this one and say, yeah, it's a bee thing kind of thing, it's bad for me, you know, and that kind of thing. Like I say, there is spell cards, there's herb and poison cards that are being developed to help players get a little bit more familiar with identifying poisons and identifying herbs and those kind of things. Again, they're all in here. As intoxicants as well, they're all getting added for your reference points. And again, remember, we're only in the Rolemaster section. We also have the Middle Earth section. We also have Dragonlance, Space Master, and the D&D, as well as a few of their own ones as well, which are all so massive libraries of information. Shopping, we all love the shopping episodes where we want to be able to go out and buy that particular kind of crazy item, and nobody knows how much it's going to cost or how long it takes to create and all that kind of stuff. Again, this is done the same way as the spell database, except you can search according to a particular category as well. So let's say, for example, we're in the food market and we want to look for some apples. We just type the word apple. There we go. We can say we've got some apples, we've got some crab apple, we've got a pineapple, we've got some apple cider, 2 types of, fresh or fermented, and it tells us where it can be located, how long it takes to actually acquire it, if it needs to be prepared or made, what quantity is it in, so 1 bunch or 1 pint, what categories it fall into, beverages or food and fruit and grains, and how much more importantly it costs. If we want to do a lot of shopping, say we also want to get some apples, we also want to get ourselves maybe an oxen as well for some crazy reason. It tells us there's 90 silver pieces for an oxen. It's got a capacity of 700 pounds. It can its height is 5 feet and it weighs 2,000 pounds. It's got a maneuver of +20. It travels at 4 miles per hour, and how fast it goes, which is feet per round. 60 oxen kind of thing. And then maybe we want to also look for a musical instrument as well. So we'll look for a trumpet. There we go, we got a trumpet as well, and that's 6 silver pieces. If we wanted to, we could add all those kinds of things together. So we got a trumpet, which is 6 silver pieces. We got our animal, which is 9 silver pieces, and we got our food as well, which is going to be the apples, which is 7 copper pieces. It memorizes what we're searching for. So if we look back into our musical instrument, it knows that we're searching for a trumpet because the search remains on each tab. It keeps it there for us. If we wanted to, we can use the calculator and we can add those figures up, make it easy for everybody. There's services, there's medicine, there's clothing. If we want to just bring everything back, just remove the word trumpet from there. And from animals, we can take out the oxen, it brings the list back. And from food, we can take out the word apple and it brings us back again. If we're looking for some unusual items, let's say we were looking in household, we're looking for a cupboard. Actually, let's say we're looking for a bed. There we go. A large bed is 12 bronze pieces. It'll take 5 days to make, and it's only available in towns. It's 8 foot by 8 foot and weighs 120 pounds. The shopping item database is massive, absolutely huge. It covers almost everything. So let's we're looking for gloves and things like that, so let's pick something else. They're looking for a service, so let's look at a inn. Oh, maybe it's a night stay. No. Lodging, sorry, lodging. There we go, lodging. So poor, average, good, and it tells you how much it's going to cost. Maybe we're looking for stables as well, and that's 2 tin pieces, depending on where it is. We can make this list bigger by showing us more information, or we can keep it small by showing little information. So if we've got a lot of listings, and we can control that as well. So this one we'll leave at 10, that one we'll leave at 25. So if we go back, that's a 10, that's a 25. It's very customizable, and remember, it memorizes where we are. So if I put this training pack, let's pick the lay healer, manipulator, spell list, and we'll search that for healing. And then we want to go to the shopping, and we'll go to bread, and we'll get some cheese. There we go. So we've got some cheese. It's going to cost us 3 tin pieces. The training pack is already on manipulator. The profession's already on lay healer, and the spell list is already filtered to the healing. It keeps track of your entries, so it's easy for you to be able to navigate. Let's make it even more better by saying it's the Grey Elf. There we go. So it keeps track of your information. It stays like it doesn't need to reload the page. That's what we're saying. It doesn't need to reload the page. It loads all the information in one go, which is really, really handy and better for you guys. Shopping, we've got a second page for shopping, which is thieves' tools, miscellaneous, armor, and weapons. So let's say we're going looking for a broadsword. Just to, oh, there we go, broadsword, 10 silver pieces, and we'll add that to the cheese. So the databases are pretty large. Extras tab is there for all of your downloadable material. So we have character sheets here, which are available for download. As you can see, we've got spell cards, and you can see there all the spell cards for all the lists. When I say all the lists, I mean all the lists across Rollmaster 1 and 2. Various sources. So if we were looking for, say, bubble magic, for example, I can click that, and it brings up the bubble magic spell card, and the graphic in the spell card matches the graphic in the database, so in the spells database. So if we were looking for this one, amplifications, and it's health, the name's health, it's level 15 amplifications. Let's go see if we can find that one. So it's amplifications, there we go, and it's health level 15. You can see it's there, and it's a Mage Hunter base list. Let's double check that and see if it is a Mage Hunter base list. Health, Mage Hunter base list, Arcane level 15. So they all match up. The graphics the same. See, and if we were going to click that, I'm hoping it would take us to a page. It'll probably take us to a blank page. Oh, it's taking us to amplifications, Mage Hunter amplifications, but the page hasn't been set up yet. But the location for it is correct. So all spell cards are in here. If we're going to pick an N1 there, if we're going to go down to T, let's pick a one, transformations there, warlock base list. There we go. Its realms is channeling and mentalism. It's a warlock base list, and again, everything that we do, we put a resource on there. So let's just magnify that so you guys can see it. So you can quickly reference, if you need to, you can quickly reference back to the original source there. So Rollmaster Fantasy Roleplay Channeling Companion. Go for Time Law. Again, it's there. Let's pick something really crazy. Let's go for Weaver Tail. There we go, and you can see these cards are all in the database now, which is a major achievement. We have herb and poison cards. We also have item cards, and then we have some links as well, which are in development. Herb and poison cards as the cards that you'll see associated with these, giving details of how much things cost, where they're located, where can they be found, how difficult they are to be found, whether they require any preparation, any particular climate, all that kind of stuff. Item cards are things like your swords, your tents, your horses, your anything you purchase with regards to shopping. Will be available as cards, and links will be available to third-party other content as well, as Iron Crown Enterprises forums and other special rules and all that kind of stuff. So that's the Rolemaster Legacy. Now I don't want to dwell on all these, because the recording would be absolutely massive, and you guys probably got more interested in better things to be able to do. But I'll give you a quick brief look through, because they're all pretty much laid out exactly the same. So again, in Middle-earth Roleplay, we've got to split down into the particular races. So these are your dwarves, then into your elves, then into your hobbit races, then into your race of men, corsairs, and these are more associated with the Middle-earth role-playing session game system versions 1 and 2. And you got your orcs, your trolls, and then your professions as well. So your mage, your animist, your ranger, and even the optional ones, including the conjurer, the explorer, the monk, the rogue. Yeah, again, your basic skills, which are more associated with MERP than they are with Rolemaster. Any secondary skills that you might have listed, as well as your spell lists again. And again, these can be read out to you. So you got your typical ones that you can remember if those guys who play Middle-earth Roleplay Essence ways. These can be played as well. So if I play some of these, I might have it muted actually. Might have it muted. But they normally can be read out to you. I think I might not have loaded properly that one. Never mind. As well as the bard lists and things like that. So again, they all can be, and these spell cards again are available for download. So you got some open channeling, some essence, some ranger. Again, you get some more herbs, diseases and poisons, and again they are all associated with a representation of what it looks like. You can see there. And goods and services, again, a much simplified version of the shopping system that's in the Rolemaster system is more concise and more heavily expanded. These ones tend to be a little bit more for the geared towards the Middle-earth role-playing session. Let's have a look at the Space Master. Space Master section is built in representation of it being a sci-fi science kind of alien universe kind of scenario, Star Trek, Star Wars, Blade Runner style. So we wanted to build it so the graphics represented that particular genre, so that's what we've gone ahead and done. We've built it so it looks very techy. Let's give a few seconds for it to actually load in all those resources. Just help it along a second. There we go. There we go. Just refresh the page. Help it build a database. There it goes. So you can see that it's very scientifically kind of science fiction-y kind of like layout kind of thing. So these are again the races. These are humanoids. Then you've got transhumans, your replicants, and again they are all loaded in here. Various aliens. You can see that that's what they look like. These are the stat bonuses. These are resistance bonuses. What type of hit points does it have, and what hit dice does it have, and things like that. I might want to call up additional information on these particular characters, so I can do by showing details, and again it brings up its racial origins, its political structure, a lot of background information which can be hidden away with a small little tap of the tabs. Same with the replicants, you know, they could all be brought in and out. The professions are broken down into the normal categories of astronauts, technicians, research scientists, field scientists, communications and telepaths. And again, very similar to the Rolemaster layout, they are associated showing what their strengths and weaknesses are. So you got some stat bonuses here in body development and some stat bonuses in deadly skills. And there is a graphic associated with each particular one. So let's look at maybe this one here. Let's go for the, let's see, what can we go for? If anybody in the chat wants to be able to just put up a message of whatever they want to see. Let's put the artist, because the artist one's kind of a one that tends to get overlooked a little bit. Again, it brings up a resource pack for Space Master for this particular profession, which would be artist. I can bookmark that if I want to. You can see it's already been bookmarked by somebody, because it's got number 1 already on there. Nobody's voted on it whether saying it's a good character or a bad character, but it's got a basic outline here. It's got what primary requirements are. It tells me what bonuses I get in these particular skills, and then it shows me the skill categories. These are the development points, or the development point costs for this particular profession in Space Master, which is the artist. So I can see here I've got some academic skills, and there's the icon for it, some animal skills, and there's the icon, and there's some nautical skills, and there's the icon. And I can expand these, and again it shows me what their development point costs are. So the artist for animal handling is 3 and 5, and so on and so forth. Now I can look and see it gets in academic skills, it gets a +2. So if I find the academic skills, and I expand that, it tells me there underneath I get +2 to each of these skills that are taken, and it got them in for all of the skills for this particular profession. If I leave one open and I go back, it keeps it open for me. It doesn't automatically close it. It keeps it open for me. So it makes referencing and searching so much easier and faster, which is really, really handy. Again, I can bookmark this and I can jump back to it from the home page under my bookmarks navigation, or my little quick launcher down the right hand side on the home page. So those are the professions. Again, you can just check those out. Skill list, again, exactly the same as Rolemaster, except it's more associated with Space Master, and the spell fields as well. So these are the Scions, these are your telepathic abilities, special powers, Jedi forces, what you want to call them. And again, these can be viewed and looked up. So these are level 1 to 10. These are tiered exactly the same way as the Rolemaster system. 11 to 20 and 25 to 50. And then there's some optional ones here which will take you higher or fill in extra gaps. And I can show details again. I can bookmark favorite ones if need be, or I can have them read out to me and explained. So let's go for one of these ones, and we'll go for a very short one. That one there. I must have something turned off because the audio is not coming through properly. Oh, maybe because I had a room open earlier. Yeah, that's probably it. It's probably pulling information from that. But normally these would be read out to you. And again, so there is these are the, what's these ones? These are the field of visions. And you notice these graphics automatically match up with any spell cards that we have created, which I'll get to. So all are in here. Weapons and armor. Want to be able to give you a visual representation, like we do with all of our tools or resources, of what those weapons might look like or how they appear. Again, these can help the Games Master a lot, and they can also help the player visualize what type of weapon it is by its appearance, how it looks, and give you some kind of visual representation of how deadly it might be. A small little sidearm all the way through down to the great big rocket launchers and things like that. There's a description of how that weapon works, what effects it has on the character, who it's best suited for, and what defenses might work against it, might not work against it. And then if there's any particular models of this weapon, although this is a category of conventional weapons, there's typical models of this, the light one, the medium and the heavy one, how many shots it takes, and what Mach number damage it's capable of doing, with an additional bit of description. And these can be viewed across a whole load of the weapons and things like that. So we have energy weapons as well, so these are your phasers and your lasers and your tasers and things like that, all that kind of stuff. And again, these have Mach numbers, again from the mini through to the heavy. Your flamers, those people that like to use flamethrowers and things like that, are all catered for. Melee weapons such as lightsabers and force knives and all that kind of stuff. Ammunitions, different types of ammunitions, they're all listed here with visual representation, graphics, to give you a better understanding of what it looks like or how it might handle, as well as grenades and their various types and sizes and things like that. So smoke grenades, your flash grenades, your stun grenades, your freeze grenades, all that kind of stuff. Armor, we want to give some kind of representation of what the armor looks like as well. Armor categories go from level armor type 1 all the way through to armor type 20, and they're very similar to the soft leather, heavy leather, chain plate kind of, no armor. The 5 basic categories of Rolemaster. So we added in the actual representation. So armor type 1, which is just skin, which is a person, no armor whatsoever. Then you start applying different types of armor to it. We're giving you a graphical representation of like armor type light. Armor type 3 is light hide. It's equivalent of a deer, dog, wolf, or the like of. So put a little it's like animal kind of skin there. And you can leave these open or expand them out of, and it shows you the types of armor, what it includes. So gauntlets, side like leather, metal plates overlapping, all the way through to power suits, which is like for your feet and for your hands and your arms, as well as full-on body armor kind of thing. So it gives you kind of a representation as well as a description and how it handles as well. Again, you can shrink those down and keep them out the way. Shields are very similar as well. So you've got your velocity shield, your deflect shield, your absorption shield, and your barrier shields, with how it affects during gameplay for the games master as well as the player, and power cells, and more important power cells, again showing you where utility cells, weapon charges, flamer carriages, all that kind of stuff, whether it's a cell, a cartridge, a pack, or a reactor. There's descriptions and visual representation aids as well for all that kind of stuff. Explorer's equipment, yes, we've added in all the Explorer's equipment, whether it's weight, what it looks like, how much it costs, all that kind of stuff has been added in. Medical equipment as well. Your drugs tabs, you've got your medical tabs, again we can expand those out, and you've got all your medical your medi tabs ready there, as well as recreational tabs as well. And then again what it looks like as well, small little capsules or pills and the likes of. Infirmary equipment has been added, and then we've got some data as well, some data and media, some holocubes and all that kind of stuff, video discs and things like that. Tools and survival equipment, all presented there again on small little identificational cards. Software and robots, again we're going to cover all this kind of stuff. So you got all your software details and graphics, how much it costs, how many units of data it takes up, all that kind of stuff, and various robots, droids, drones, androids, if you're building particular androids and things like that. There's various information and guides, and extra robot add-ons and things like that, microchips and whatnot. Like that. Vehicles, we wanted to cover vehicles, so we've added in all the vehicles that are associated with Space Master, Star Wars, Star Trek, and other such things, Dune, and all that kind of stuff. So how fast they go, how many passengers can they carry, what cargo can they have, how many hit points do they take, if they've got any armor plating or any guns mounted or anything like that, what power source do they have, and how much they eventually cost. And we've got some vehicles here, wheeled vehicles, anti-grav vehicles, things like that, explorers like walkers, marine vehicles such as submarines, boats, sailing ships, catamarans, all that kind of stuff, aircraft, so your helicopters, your prop planes, your gravity planes, your high-speed jets, and the likes of, and orbital shuttles and things like that. And we can add those, all have been added in. Then you're into your spacecraft. Now we created a whole library of spacecraft, all different types, covering all different varieties. You can see here, all nice graphics for you to browse, but we also wanted to add in variations of it. So we've got the model A, B, C and D of this particular one. You can bring up a particular model which will tell you what armor type it is, whether it has any defensive shielding, electronic warfare, how fast it goes, how many light years can it cover in a day, its operational duration, so it's 60 days before it requires a service, what fuel does it fuel capacity it has, how much power has it got, how much does it cost in general. But there might be another variation of it, so there could be a cargo transporter of it, there could be a passenger liner of it, there could be a military purpose for it, There could be a commercial purpose for it. It's entirely up to you. There's also a variation of different ship names that games masters and players might want to use as a reference point for this particular vessel here, and they go all the way from small little like human transporter things, cruisers, luxury liners, to semi-class massive battle stars kind of thing, with a lot of taking additional a lot of damage but don't travel quite so fast. Space Master is shopping. You want to make it as quite as versatile and as vast as a Rolemaster one, but cover modern day things as well. So in this respect, we've broken them down into two lists. So we've got the Space Master shopping list and then just general item shopping list. So the Space Master shopping list is everything that appears in the Space Master manuals. So weapons, ammunition and personnel equipment. Again, we can change the size of this to show more or less depending on our display or what we're looking for, and you can search for each one of these obviously. So if we're looking for a watch, just a normal watch, there's not one in there for some reason, I don't know why. Or field medical equipment, data, software, tools, tabs, your medical stuff, your infirmary equipment, armor and shield, survivor and power cells. Or you just want to go crazy and you just want to do some general kind of like futuristic space shopping, in which case it's broken down into food, survival, containers, travel, tools, animals, stationery, science, musical, household, clothing, surveillance, and anything else you can think of. And again, there's cigarette papers, there's jacks, there's a watch, there's the watch, a cigar, clay pipe, map, comb. In fact, if I just expand this out over, you'll be able to see how big it is. These lists are massive. There's a globe, there's some playing cards, a large flag, a fashion doll, opera glasses, there's a map of a continent, there's checkers, there's ice skates, there is a spyglass, there's an air rifle, there's a crystal, and they all have a weight, where it can be found, how long it takes to produce, I'm sure that's how long it takes to, how long it takes to produce, and how much it costs, and any notes that go with it as well. So roller skates, under the category of toys and games, weighs about £5, can be found in a city, takes about a week to create, and is if you want inline skates rather than actual roller skates, you add an extra $20 on it, and it costs about $35 in total for the standard. Then we have downloads, character sheets, which you can go ahead and you can just download straight away and start using. You can see there, Arms Master with the bonuses on, the character's name and the level on the front in the Space Master kind of logo, with all character sheets ready to be filled in and just get going. And then you have the Scion cards as well, you can see there. So if we click this one, it'll bring up the spell cards for Space Master. So there's loads in there. There's also going to be a lot of item cards as well. It's going to be added across the top of here, and Meditab card index cards as well. We also, those of you that are in the Rolemaster Facebook group will have noticed that we've put up the idea of floating planet index cards for games masters and from players. These will be like A4-ish in size, double-sided, and they will have things like maps on them, whether there's a starport, whether there's a trading facility, whether there's a ship merchant kind of thing, a casino or a nightclub, or how the governments run, and all that kind of stuff, and what they're importing and exporting kind of thing will be written on those cards kind of thing to help games masters and players alike. Quick look at the D&D section, because some of you people like to play D&D as well as Rolemaster, Space Master, MERP, and various other systems as well. So we'll show you what you got in the D&D section. As I realise this is quite a lengthy video for you guys to watch, so thanks for sticking with it. And if you like what you see, then leave comments, because I like to read the comments. I like to get feedback. Again, Dungeons and Dragons laid out exactly the same way as the previous ones, Rolemaster and Space Master. We will look at the other ones at a later date. If anybody's interested, let me know and I can take you on a personal tour of it. I don't mind doing that over Discord. We have our races, we have our dwarves. Again, the graphics change, the details regard them all change. The sea elves, the wood elves, and other variations of the subclass. These can be read out to you, of course, as well. For some reason it stopped working the readout, maybe because I've got other audio devices running at the same time, I'm not sure. We also have they've got the classes as well. I think of the class as well, so the artificer, with the specialities already built in as well. So if you want to, you can look at the blacksmith one. If we do a little click on that, it'll take us into what would say you can bookmark these, obviously, extra details for being able to play the subclasses as well, so the variations. So artificer, battlesmith, and you can go ahead and you can bookmark these under something else. Let's add this one into what to play next. I'll just tick it in there. It turns black. There you go, and it means that that has been bookmarked. So next time when I log off and log back in, I can quickly find that particular point of reference. The cleric, the fighter, and again I'm just going to scroll down here. Let's pick a fighter one and let's go for the Echo Knight. Let's have a look at that one. There we go. There we go. The Echo Knight and the information regarding that particular subclass, all the way through to Warlock and Wizard. And we'll look at some background information. So if you're creating your character and you're looking for background ideas or for that particular pipe, so the background is the Acolyte, and you can see there's a little bit of a description here, what skill proficiencies it gives, what equipment it might provide, what features might be associated with it, and some suggestions as well. And don't forget, you got, so it says there D8, a D6, a D6, a D6. So let's go ahead and roll those. We can do that because we've got a roller here, which is very handy. So the first one was the D8. Let's roll that one. The D8 got a 5. Let's just close that. So the 5 tells me I quote or misquote sacred text and proverbs in almost every situation. The next one was a D6, and because we close the drawer, it keeps that dice there. It doesn't refresh. It keeps that dice there. So if we want to be able to check something, we reopen the drawer, the dice will remain the same until we clear it. D6 for that one. Let's roll a D6. Straight 6. So our ideal is aspiration. I seek to provide myself worthy of, and we can go through. We can do the full. See, we can do the full background if we want to. Because we've left that page, it resets the dice tray for us. Our skills and guide to skills, feats, and there's a whole nation of different feats in there which we can click on. Let's do a little bit of clicking around here. Again, we can bookmark feats if we need reference to them. There's details, there's extra information, things like that. There's also feat cards, which we'll get to as well. The spell lists, we want to be able to get to the spell lists. So these are the artificer ones, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th. And these can be brought up exactly the same way as you would in Rolemaster or in Spacemaster or in MERP, things like that. The only difference is these ones have a little watermark with what school of magic they belong to. They have a casting time, a range, the components required, the duration, a brief description, and who it's associated with, as well as a nice graphic again. And they are in for all the different spell professions. And then we have shopping, exactly the same as it is pretty much with Spacemaster and D&D. You can search, and you can also do your filtering according to if it's cheap, if it's a normal cost, a cheap cost, an expensive cost, and what modifications it might do. And then we have our character sheets there. We have our spell cards. So if we were looking for, let's see, we'll go back to the one. Say, let's pick a one we already know we got. Let's say poison spray. So if we bring that up, poison spray, that one, you can see it's got a particular graphic associated with it, which is this one here. Let's go down to there and try and find poison spray. So we expand that out over poison spray, that one there. You can see it's got the same graphic, and this is the spell card associated with that particular spell, which you can go ahead and you can print out and keep on hand and maybe build a small little spell book there. These ones are all still being worked on. this one. So you see a lot of them that the spells are listed, but they don't have links in yet. They're being added to over the next few days or so. And then we have feat cards as well, which we click on the feat cards and have a look. We can bring up our feat cards as well. Actually, I didn't need to do that because they automatically load up in. So you can see there. So we have feat details as well, which it's quite handy to have those on standby when you're playing your particular character, just as a reference point, so you know you used to have these particular abilities with you. You can see they're all in there. I'm just quickly clicking on various ones here, just to give you some kind of idea of how it all works. So there you go, guys. That is, let's go back to the home page again and do a quick recap. That's the stages we are at the moment. You can see there's a lot of content. There is a lot more that we can show you when we have more time, but you can see that there is a massive amount of information and data floating around in this kind of system. You log on, you create a profile, you customize that profile to showcase your bests, your social medias, your feeds, your podcasts, your recordings, your gatherings and character sheets, and whatever it is. If you do artwork, or if you do stories, or if you do role playing, you're a games master or a player. You can create groups, you can join groups, you can host groups and meet other people and chat and hang out, post your links and your videos and things like that, and make friendships. Stay up to date with the latest news, and also have access to all these resources and more. There is loads more. I wish I could show you guys, but we really are running out of time. I do realise there's nearly 2 hours that I've taken up, and if you're watching this and watch it all the way to the end, well done. Whether it's the resources for Rolemaster, there's city maps, there's herb charts, there's equipment charts, there is modules and stories and walkthroughs. Or if it's for Middle-earth roleplay, there's character cards, there's creature cards, there's encounters, there's loads of stuff. Or D&D, there's various NPC cards. You'll have seen them, I've posted them up in the past and shared them with you guys. Spell cards, fate cards, and monster stuff from the monster manual, as well as like legendary items and all that kind of stuff. There's absolutely tons for you to be able to log on to and get and use, and there's a lot more being planned in the future as well. So if you have any questions, or anybody else wants to be able to take them through this personally, or if you think you can contribute to this and want to get involved, maybe write some short stories for the professions, or maybe do an ongoing saga, or if you want to be able to do some graphics or do some promotional work or something like that, get in contact and let us know. We're always looking for people who want to be able to expand on this and make it larger and better for everybody else, but might not necessarily have the output or the know where to start. Then we can certainly give you some we can help you out. We can give you some pointers and give you some advice. We're quite friendly over here, and we look forward to working alongside you. Whether you want to design some planets, or you want to create some spaceships, or maybe some spaceship floor plans, or some space stations, or maybe some I don't know, some solar systems and things like that, or maybe you want to create some world maps for fantasy, maybe some dungeons and things like that, then, and you want to be able to just get started, then we are always here to help you guys. We do have tabs over the side here for email and for YouTube, Facebook, Discord and all the rest of it, as various other things to be able to add on to the community and help it grow and get bigger. Once we get past the launch section, once we've got these resources tested and doubly tested, we will be able to bring this all to you completely free. That's the ultimate goal, is to try and make all these resources completely free to you guys. And if you want to show your support, then you are very welcome. A quick recap, I just want to show you them categories that are working. There you go, them bookmarks that I did do. so I can quickly jump back into those kind of things. What's it? Monday night's game. That was it. Monday night's game, rather than Space Master Monday. You can see that I can get back to all my resources, what to play next, and I can quickly navigate my way through my bookmarks. There we go. There's the Battlesmith, which I bookmarked in D&D just a little bit earlier. I hope you have a great time, guys. I'm going to sign off now and wish you all a wonderful time, wonderful day. I hope you have enjoyed what you've seen, and I look forward to giving you another update, showing you new areas, including how to send gifts electronically to each other, birthday celebrations, spending your points that you have earned in through your activity on the website and through playing games and things like that, and how to advance further, as well as showing you the publications area, which will show you all the different downloads that people have created content from the community. That's what I'm trying to say. And podcasts and all that kind of stuff, all the multimedia kind of side to it all, as well as everything that we have shown you today. So thanks again, guys. Until next time.